Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page. Tonight's viewing is Jess Franco's Two Undercover Angels, and this is from 1969, clocking in at 79 minutes. Two Undercover Angels, and this is the red part of the Red Lips double feature that also includes Kiss Me Monster, and this was put out by Blue Underground. This thing has always been a good price as far as I know. It's two films, two DVDs by Jess Franco, and it's still available, and it stars Janine Reynard and also Rosanna Yanni, and you'll recognize them from Succubus and also from Count Dracula's Great Love. And this is directed by Jess Franco, and the credits it's Jesus Franco. And this is these are Two Undercover Angels, kind of is in part with Kiss Me Monster. These two films, I guess, kind of go together. I haven't seen Kiss Me Monster yet, but they were put together for a reason. They do go together because we have two similar spy female characters who are on two various adventures, so to speak. And the first adventure is Two Undercover Angels, and the second adventure, I guess, is Kiss Me Monster. Now, this is 1969 Jess Franco. This is just music wise, we're filled with 60s, 60s type of dancey jazz and 60s fun type of jazz in here. We also have some 60s really moody music as well, and some 60s kind of, really bridging the gap into the 70s, but some wild, raucous jazz you could dance to, and also some pretty moody, dark stuff as well, as I said, at certain points throughout this genre-bending film. Now, film style, Jess Franco is really pretty subtle in here, taking in a lot of the storyline, taking in a lot of the scenery. He does do some zooming, but the majority of his crazy, wild filming takes place in the nightclub. There are two nightclub scenes, I believe, in the film, and that's when you really see his camera go wild, which would be reminiscent of his stuff in the 70s, 80s, and beyond, when the whole film would be like that. Now, character-wise, the two lead girls and the whole vibe of this film really has that type of 60s television show, mad caper kind of vibe to it. It's a mystery. These two spy girls, they're out there trying to solve the mystery. They're trying to, solve the mystery of this death. But what makes this movie, you kind of have that 60s fun, that 60s vibe, almost like a 60s television show kind of. But where Jess Franco's imprint really gets on in here is the sexiness of this film. Now, this is nowhere near, what you would be seeing in the 70s for Franco. But you do have some toplessness in here, but mostly what you have is a sexiness through bikinis or through very short skirts with panties showing, or just through legs and feet and bras. And there's actually a really wild bikini in this film that is really ahead of its time, by the way. And you just have characters kind of making sexy comments to each other, or double entendres, dealing with intercourse or things like that. Jess Franco is also in this film. You kind of think he's going to be a main character, but you find out he's not. I don't want to give away too much, but he does have, you see a younger Franco in this film, and he does have a significant role, at least in one section of the film. And so you have that sexiness, but then you also have this bizarre horror part of this story, of this mystery, dealing with photography and murder and almost like a Wolfman character. It's very bizarre. just really really bizarre, something that you just wouldn't see, in your average 60s TV show, mad caper mystery type of deal. And of course the two leads are the women. These are the women who are out to solve the mystery, and they're funny and they're spunky and they're sexy, and they use their sexuality to kind of get things done in the story. um, and Jess Franco definitely, that's a staple all the time, where he wants the women to be the leads and their sexuality is supreme. Now I got to tell you too, one of the really wild aspects too is that you do see some lesbianism in here as well. Not lesbian sex scenes or even kissing, but you see, through a massage, or even a woman at the nightclub trying to pick up one of these girls, one of the two spy girls. So you have that kind of aspect, and the nightclub scenes are absolutely wild, and this is where you see, Jess Franco's imprint so much too, and what he would, follow suit with for the rest of his career. There are two main sequences in the nightclubs that are rather creative, like they always are. One involving a girl cutting her black leotard with holes, and another one involving the wildest dancing leading to topless dancing like ever. The energy level of this scene with Franco's like wild, violent zooming and up and down with the camera inside of this kind of 60s roped cage kind of deal. This girl, man, I mean, if this girl was older, she would have had a heart attack. I mean, she was dancing so hard. Um, there's tons of 60s style in this film. There's shootouts. There's wild outfits from the women, especially the two leads, especially the woman who's on the cover here. You can see how wild her outfit is here. She's from Succubus. Um, and you kind of have that outfit there. And it says on the quote on the front of the DVD, a psychedelic acid jazz wig out. And there is acid jazz in here, and they called it the Red Lips double feature. They do mention red lips a lot in the film. So you kind of have that there too, in terms of the double entendres and the sexuality of everything. Their lips, maybe other lips, stuff like that. But it really is kind of a more it's a more accessible Franco for somebody who doesn't want a ton of the sexuality, or a ton of like nudity, or a ton of explicit sex, or things like that. This will give you the sexuality, but it'll give you more of it in a in the ways that I mentioned, as opposed to being much more explicit. But sexuality, make no qualms about it, is still a part of the story. And also, you're going to find some really awesome artwork in this film. I don't know who did the artwork, but it's part of the storyline. It's a very disturbing artwork, very bizarre. And I do see some parallels with this film in some form or fashion, with some of the beatnik films, the beatnik horror films, like Bucket of Blood and things like that from Corman, Roger Corman, where you were kind of mixing some of the art, the art with horror and things like that. And yeah, there's a really cool kind of horror dungeon section of this film that you keep going back to. There are some deaths in this film. They're not violent. They're not gory. You're not going to have the sadism in here that you find in future Franco films, but you will find the pieces of it that are kind of the introductions in a way. Like you have a girl with her hands, shackled up. She's not naked, but it's a small piece. And of course the two girls also have the humor with the mad caper 60s type of vibe. Now this is the latest of the late 60s, of course, but I really feel like it's 60s. It doesn't feel like the 70s at all to me. And they have humor. They're dodging bullets. They're giving bullets, and they're also, they're not too fazed by people trying to kill them, or about the violence that's happening around them. There are some twists and there are some turns in this film. Definitely, almost Scooby-Doo style. I got to tell you that there's a twist in this film that is really, really bizarre. I was not totally prepared for it at all. I don't think you will be either. So definitely this is a film that takes the spy, Mad Caper type of vibe, and Jess Franco takes the reins of it and makes it bizarre, weird, sensual, sexy, and fast-paced, and it's edgy, definitely edgy. And this is a great film too to see where, kind of some of the pieces of maybe what he would really escalate in the 70s in particular. So that was Two Undercover Angels, and I'm looking forward to seeing the second one in the set, Kiss Me Monster. So look forward to the review on this page for that as well. This, though, was Two Undercover Angels. I don't believe you can get these separately. And why would you want to, to get them together? This was awesome. You can still get this on Amazon or eBay for a really cheap price, and it's December 2015 as I say this. Two Undercover Angels by Jess Franco. Actually, the credits say Jesus Franco, and this was from 1969, and I'm looking forward to the second one. This was great. Really, really loved it. If you like what you heard, you're going to love this. Two Undercover Angels, and this is unrated like most of Franco's films. Thank you for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page. Feel free to check out my own films at youtube.com/poopydiarrhea and check out the host of other reviews, including tons more Franco on this YouTube page. Thank you, and good night.